Hey, welcome back, guys. I'm back. We're late, but better late than never. Hope everybody is having a good weekend. We are back and ready to get to work up in here. Let's check and see if anybody here. Need to give myself a thumbs up because I'm pretty sure I'm going to like what I've got to say today. So, going to write this message right now to people who are new. Actually, they've been here for a while, but don't know that Saturday night. Saturday Night Live. Okay, we're here to get started. Hey, Ollie. I'm just going to call you short. Call you Ollie for short. What's up? So tonight we're going to get started here. And let's see what we're going to talk about. We're going to start out tonight. Well, let me do the thing. Welcome to Advocates for Justice. Paralegal service. We have the tools and you do the work. I'm Coach Neighbors and I'm the one to get to call the plays up in here today and every day. So today we're going to have a quick overview on what we were talking about last night, the new Eliminator criminal defense lawsuit package, the Eliminator. Yeah, and it has eliminated one already. I'm sure you guys heard Edward talking last night. He's pretty excited. And I feel great for him because it's really sad that anybody would have to live their life in fear like some people do because of, they don't plan on kissing anybody's butt. So I said it. Anyway, there were some other things I wanted to cover last night that are real important, but I didn't get to because the time was spent with him telling you guys about how the package worked for him, which is more important than anything that I had to cover. And I was really glad that he called in and put his 2 cents on the table. So that lets you guys know that not only do we rock and roll in foreclosure defense, we can do some other stuff too. And we about to show people that. And we're going to have a section for criminal. And when I say criminal, so here's the thing. If they don't have an injured party, then it's a problem for them if you're getting my program. If they have an injured party, then it's kind of going to be a problem for you. Yeah, because it's going to be tough. Now, there are some things, the way we do things allows you options because you're challenging the legality of these people that are taking your stuff and they have not done the things that they need to do to be legal. They haven't. And that's what I'm teaching people how to stick up in their face. And at the end of the day, they have so many people that just give up and lay down. They don't have time for somebody scratching and screaming and talking shit and being a pain in the ass. They don't. And looking like they just missed 22 people or 25 more people they could have had today dealing with you, dragging their ass over in federal court, claiming that they violated the Administrative Procedures Act of 1946, and they're also in violation of the Foreign Agent Registration Act because they haven't filled out the necessary paperwork to be considered legal according to federal law. And I had a lady contact me, and she let me know that her attorney general said that the attorneys in their state are exempt from that. Of course, I was like, so seriously, you're communicating with me, telling me this, so maybe you should get the attorney general for your state to give you some legal advice since you believe him. I mean, come on now. Okay, but here's the thing: you can believe the attorney general if you want to, because I don't have a stake in this. Attorney general does, because attorney general is the one that this all going to fall in his or her lap when you get done slapping the crap out of them with my stuff. So yeah, they want to tell you this to go sit down and get you an attorney. That's their legal advice. They're going to tell you, you need to get you an attorney. Yeah, let me hurry up and do that since you loan me some money, and then I'll throw your money away and I'll still be in the same place defending myself because the attorney is not going to help you. And the reason attorney ain't going to help you because their buddies are the ones that are coming after you. So there you go. Well, maybe you might find one to help you in criminal defense if you have enough money and your case is not political. You know, you haven't pissed them off really bad. Yeah, anyway, so most people's case don't fit in either one of those categories, or excuse me, fit into both of those categories. So they wouldn't qualify for the give me a pass. So now we're going to have an overview on the Eliminator package that I talked about last night. I'm going to talk about a few more things that are really important about criminal jurisdiction, because there is no criminal jurisdiction, and I'm going to explain to you why. And we're going to talk about the new Eliminate Property Tax online course. And this is going to be different. This online course, this Eliminate Property Tax online course, is going to be an incorporation of the foreclosure defense online course that I have now. It's also going to include on the front half the property tax package. I'm putting together a property tax course. So we'll add to the online course the things about a property tax. I'm going to present this as a package deal, because what we're finding is if you challenge the property tax and you jam them up with that, sometimes they go sit down. Sometimes they try to jam you up on a foreclosure, like Shamel, and she's a young lady a member in our group, our private Facebook group, and she's actually blocked the sale of her dad's house like 3 times, and then they moved it over to the property tax and sold it over there and didn't tell her, and they didn't even check to see if she'd paid the property tax, and she had paid the property tax, and that's the problem for them now. And she served the judge her lawsuit that I put together for her, and the documents that you guys are getting are the documents that I put together for these people with these special problems. And the judge sent the service back because it wasn't file stamped. But the problem was the supervisor clerk was named in the document. So the supervisor clerk refused to file stamp the document and file it in court. Yeah, somebody should have been stepping up to do that. The regional supervisor for the clerk, somebody. But yeah, so they're just trying to get out of it. Like, I don't know how long they think they can get out of this, because you can do a public service in the public, and I think each state has the rules for doing that, and you file it in the public record and do all that. But what we had her do was just file. She had already created her title dispute in federal court, so they shouldn't have done anything to her property, to her dad's property, but they did, and they kicked them out. And then we found out later that she paid the taxes, so they shouldn't have done the tax sale, and the people that orchestrated all this didn't pay the taxes when it was all done. So the people over in the tax office is looking a little bit ugly, and the people over in the other office is looking a little bit ugly. And the only good thing that I can see come out of this is that the supervisor of the clerk's office read the documents. Because she knows she was named in it. Yeah, what a mess. But you know what? This is what Shamel looked that stuff up herself. I did not tell her to check the tax and do all that stuff. She figured that stuff out on her own. And a lot of this stuff you guys are going to have to figure out on your own, or Google, or find out some kind of a starting point. And I get people call me all the time, hey, what do I do now? I don't know. I don't have all the answers. I'm putting some of them together, and we're getting a little bit of a feel how to make them go sit down and leave you the hell alone, because we already figured out that you can't go into court waiting for the judge to rule in your favor and all that shit. We already found out that shit is not working. So that's the conventional program. That don't work. So you need to figure out a way to hold these people's feet to the fire. And the best way to do that is to check to see if they're legal. You start at the gate. At the gate. If they're not legal, they don't have jurisdiction. If they don't have injured party, they don't have jurisdiction. If they don't have a judge, they can't do shit to you. Yeah. If the prosecutor decides to go hang that shit up and go sit the hell down, then you're looking pretty good. And that's what my criminal defense documents are designed to do. They're designed to, actually, even the foreclosure documents. But the criminal defense documents are, and see, here's the thing. You guys need to understand, when you're going into court for whatever, if you go in arguing the shit they said you did or didn't do, you're screwed. No, you don't want to do that. You want to attack them. Like Edward said last night, you need to attack them. You attack the prosecutor, you hold the prosecutor 2 feet to the fire with some stuff that they're supposed to be following. Yeah, those are things that I figured out from all of the years of research that I've been doing and finding their loopholes and figuring out a way to stick them back up in their face. Figuring out a way to let you guys stick them back up in their face. Yeah. So we're going to talk about the Eliminate Property Tax course, and I'm going to review how my program works. Went over that a little bit last night too, but I'm going to review that real quick in a kind of a condensed thing, so people have an idea when they're watching the videos how to get started. So before we get started on all that stuff, you guys know the deal. Go down there and please click on those ads so that I can get paid, and click the like button. Because if there's 25 people, there should be 25 likes. There shouldn't be nobody here that not liking me. And please subscribe and ring the bell so you get notifications when I upload videos and when I start live streams late. And those things are important to know. And leave a comment, and those comments let the YouTube algorithms know that you guys find value in what I'm doing, what I'm bringing to the table, which means that they're going to show my stuff to more people. So all those means work out good for everybody involved. And make sure you click on that so I can get paid. So it's time to get started here. The new Eliminator package. The state has no criminal jurisdiction. And this is the main focus I want to talk about tonight. I spend so much time on property tax and third-party debt collections and stuff, and or the foreclosures. I spend a lot of time on the foreclosures, third-party debt collections and stuff. The property tax is kind of a wrap because they don't require a whole bunch of back and forth, because they have no legal defense for not returning your deed like you asked, especially when you come to them the way my program is set up for you to go to them. So, but we want to talk about this is different. The state has no criminal jurisdiction, and that document, that package that I have addresses this, and it's pretty powerful. So I want to do a screen share. Oh, I want to see, hey, Nikki, we got a bunch of people here. Calvin, Nevela, James, Laura Rentos, welcome from Washington State. I saw Laura requested to get into our group, or maybe she sent me a subscription thing or something. I saw her name come across something today, and I wasn't in the post office, Laura, so relax. Okay. I'm hoping your name's not in the post office, okay? Nobody goes to the post office and look at that shit anyway. They just plaster your ass on TV. So welcome, everybody. We got a few people here. Ali, Islam. Lori says hello from Washington State. And hello, Nikki. What's up? And Calvin's here today. Thank you, Neville. And I got James there bringing up the rear. Asked the attorney if the taxes were paid. Yeah. Yeah. Well, this whole thing was a mess for them. That the case that I'm talking about, because Shamel she's been all over their butt. She's been all over them, and that girl was in the hospital having a baby, and she was still clicking that button on her phone, sending stuff over to yeah. I tell you, you guys don't realize how much time it takes harassing these people. And I asked Shamel one day, I said, so Shamel, how many times do you think you call them? Like, in a week or something? She's like, Mr. Guy, I pretty much call them every day. And when I call them, the clerk answered the phone. Hello, Miss Maxwell. Yeah. Yeah, they are ready. Yeah. So I want to go ahead and do a screen share so that I can share some information with you guys so that you can read the information while I'm talking about it. That would be better. And then I will leave a couple of the case laws when I post a video in the comment section in case people will want to use this stuff to kick somebody in the face before you have a hearing, to make sure that there ain't no hearing. Yeah, there's no hearing. Hey, BX Trust, welcome. Now, as soon as I figure out here how to share my screen. Okay, so there's no criminal jurisdiction. That whole thing is bullshit. I'm just going to throw it out there. There, I said it. Okay, it's BS. And I'll tell you why. It's all civil. It's all civil, and under common law, unless there's an injured party or you damage somebody's property, you ain't got no business being in court if you do not agree with being there, if you do not consent, and you know where to get the fire from that you need to make these people sound and leave you alone. So you can look at this. Let me see if I can hide this little thing. Here we go. Now you can look at this, and whenever you look at a charging document for criminal traffic, whatever, if the state is the complaint, if the state is the plaintiff, it's BS. And I'll tell you why it's BS. The state cannot be an injured party. And any act committed against the state, whether for good or bad or whatever, honest criminal intent cannot be made as an offense against the United States unless it has some relation to the execution of power of Congress or some other matter of jurisdiction issue of the United States. See, United States versus Fox. So that's just the beginning. Courts of the United States, by mere virtue of this grant of judicial power and the absence of legislation by Congress, have no criminal jurisdiction whatsoever. Now, I know people say, oh, I'm crazy. Dude, shit got dismissed. So that's all I got to say about that. People can say I'm crazy if they want to. Shit got dismissed. So that speaks for itself. Now, this is the shit right here. The criminal jurisdiction of the United States is wholly derived from the statutes of the United States. See Manchester versus Massachusetts. And yeah, back to 1880, back when shit was real. And then here's some other case laws here. So what this means is that criminal jurisdiction is derived from the statutes. Oh, wait. We should have known that already because they're charging you for violating the statute, right? You violated the traffic statute. Well, actually, traffic citation, but other more important shit are statutes or and codes, which none of that stuff matters. But and neither does statute at the end of the day, because you guys who know me, you already know that a statute does not have the necessary elements to be considered a valid law. It does not have enacting clause, which tells people from what authority the law comes from and who's subject to following it. And we, the people of the Constitution, is the preamble, is the enacting clause for the Constitution. Without that, you don't know where the law comes from or who's subject to following it. That's the most important part. There's no statute in these there's no enacted statutes. There is no, you guys check it out yourself. Check it out yourself. You'll see there's no enacting clause in any of the statutes. The statutes are not considered a valid law. They don't have a title, they don't have a body. And this enacting clause and all this stuff is supposed to be with the statute, with the law. It can't be some other place and all of that. So if the statute is not a valid law, then that statute can't give jurisdiction to the state to come after you for criminal shit. I know people thinking, man, could it be that simple? Dude, shit got dismissed. You heard him tell you yesterday. And that package is new. I put it together custom for his situation. But the way I do things, you can use this for all kinds of things. And the document that I put together, I don't put the same document together. I had my lady ask me about that. She was worried about getting another document because she was afraid it might be like the last document. Well, no, I don't have time for that. I can guarantee you now the document is not going to be the same as the last one. And each of my documents have a specific goal in mind. And most people don't understand what their goal is. I'm just telling you. And that's okay if you just replace the red font and fill the shit out and get it filed. You can figure out what the goal is after they shut the shit down and get out of your face. Okay, then you got time to be poking around. Otherwise, you should just take my poking for the years that I've been poking and take that and shove it in somebody's face. Because I don't like attorneys, and I ain't connected to them, and y'all know they don't like my ass one bit. So the only interest I have in this is seeing you kick their ass with my stuff, so I can get a good review and see more people step up to the plate to kick their ass with my stuff. Yeah, that's the plan. So I think that's pretty powerful. And this came, this is right in the document that I put together. I think it's pretty powerful. So traffic ticket, if you didn't tear up nobody's shit or jam or hurt nobody, if they're coming after you for whatever, if you didn't hurt nobody or tear up nobody's shit, and just like in the foreclosure stuff, we don't go into court arguing all of the shit they said you did or didn't do. As you see right here, just like Edward said, we turned on their ass with some offense. Guys, you can't win without some offense. Well, you could, and we kind of did, but you're better off to have some offense so that you can enjoy this, okay? That's what I tell people when they get in my program. The last thing I tell people, and this is what I tell him too, I'm sure he'll tell you, I'm going to teach you how to have some fun. And he was having fun too in the end after he got done breathing in a paper bag and didn't have a stroke. And then he was ready to go do the hearing. Yeah. And then he found out there was no hearing. Well, I tried to tell him that, but yeah. So this is pretty powerful. And I think that this document, this package that I put together is going to come with phone support from me. And that's different than the other documents because the other documents, the phone support is in the group. And the reason for that is because I made the package cheap, okay, inexpensive. What the hell? I made the package cheap so people can afford it. So I just don't have time to be on the phone with everybody, And maybe that's going to work out this way too. But in the beginning, it wasn't, and then it did. So for the new package, we're going to do it this way. And then when we get busy, then we'll do the group, and I'll have a Facebook page for it, or we'll do a Zoom meeting or something, because it's important. When you use this Eliminator package, it's important to not do all these extra things. It's important to have some feedback, from the coach about how, like for instance, when he's preparing a motion to dismiss. Well, we don't need no motion to dismiss because they haven't answered to the stuff that you put on the table. And if they don't answer to the stuff you put on the table, we're going to be found something else in their face, because I don't ask them for shit. And in my program, we don't ask for a motion to dismiss. We're just going to keep punching them in the face till they go sit the hell down and get out of your face. And that's the way we do it. So now, I also want to share with you guys just a little bit of the summary here of this is part of the summary for the document package that I put together for Edward. And you see the sanctions. We went over the fact that they're supposed to file sanctions and they didn't. And we're claiming, have they done a reasonable pre-file investigation? But the claims were baseless in this case. And the police officer violated the separation clause in the Constitution when he signed the summons in place of the judicial officer of the court. Now, that's important for this traffic BS, because the Constitution mandates that the branches of government be separated. And the police officer works in the executive branch, and the executive branch worker is not supposed to be signing stuff that is supposed to be signed by the judicial. And that's a problem. Welcome, Kerry Jackson. That is a problem. And so what they do is they just tell you, what are you going to do about it? We're going to jam your ass up and then just go over there and file your appeal or whatever the hell you want to go piss in the bucket. Yeah. Well, you know what? We already know filing appeal ain't helping nobody. So we ain't got time for that. As soon as it does violate you, or you can get the package that I just put together for jamming up the judge for the Administrative Procedures Act BS, and sue the judge right out the gate for different stuff, not related to all of that banking shit. Yeah, and this stuff is easy to prove, because if the judge is violating the Administrative Procedures Act of 1946, and the court rules are not in line with the Constitution, that's real easy to prove, because they're trying to take your shit without any of the stuff that they're supposed to be doing. They're supposed to be doing, they're not doing what they're supposed to be doing. So it's now you have an option to take control and switch it all over and do some other stuff. So we've been learning how to cut to the chase. And when I say cut to the chase, my sister, when I was helping her with her situation, this big old, who got time for doing all, don't have time to be doing all of that. I'm just going to tell you, and I'm not going to say this very often, but I'm kind of lazy. I don't want to work no harder than I have to. But I like to punch people in the face real well, so that makes me work hard. But hey, that's too much. We're learning how to cut to the chase. As soon as, starting out, putting the attorney as number one defendant, and then as soon as the judge allows them a free pass and ignores your shit, you add the judge right in there. You got your own lawsuit against the judge. Now you got two. Yeah. So they can't take your property without a judge. Think about it. They can't take your shit without a judge. And they can't take your shit without an attorney either. Well, they need an attorney. But now we got two to judge, so they can't take your shit without a judge. So you learn how to take these people out because they're not legal. And here's the problem that you have. The problem, in my opinion, the problem is huge. When you attack the prosecutor or the judge to show they're not legal, they are in violation of 2 federal or 3 federal laws right at the gate, that's a problem for them. Because if that gets on the record that you're challenging the judge's legality and the judge is not legal and didn't fill out all this stuff they're supposed to be doing that they don't do, now all of the judges' cases are going to be called on the table. Yeah. Okay, I'm just going to get to the point. Now, somebody's going to have to be giving back some damn money. Yeah. You see where I'm going with that. Now, when we took what we did with this package, pretty much, and I'm going to throw this on the table. So if you guys are in this situation, maybe, and you're used to doing this, then you can take care of this problem. But what we did was, once I read the police report, we just turned the police report into the opposite. The police saying the dude turned down the street. The dude saying the signs couldn't see in front of oh, damn, this is easy. Yep, the signs got moved. Who's going to set up a barricade sign and set it back off the street to block off the street so no one can see it until you turn down the street? Okay, it don't make no sense. And why is a police officer sitting watching a street blocked off by barricade signs with the signs moved back so you can't see the sign until you turn down in the street? Yeah, you can chop that shit up real good. Remember, all you got to do is create a reasonable doubt in their shit and then attack the prosecutor. And yeah, so right at the gate, they're violating your rights because they do. The police officer cannot sign a summons for you to appear in court. If you research their processes, you will find all of these little holes in their processes because their processes are not done according to the Constitution, in violation of the Administrative Procedures Act of 1946. And if you stick that in their face and you get them to throw in the towel, or well, now you can help them change their rules. And now they would have to make their processes and be in line with the Constitution, and that would mean they can't take your shit. So I don't think people realize how powerful that whole thing is. And I know some people are thinking, I had a lady message me, I need to get that package, and do I have that? Like, dude, number one, the document you need to go after the judge is in both of the packages. And if you have to ask me if you have it, you don't know what you have. And I'm going to leave it at that. I'm not going to blow the whistle on you or send you to the bench. Well, I'm not going to blow the whistle on you. I don't have a bench, so if you get sent to the bench, it's not good. I'm just saying. So let's get back and finish this up. What's up, your dad, Grandpa One? I'm just going to call you Grandpa, man, because your name too long. Okay, sorry. I'm going to show you guys. I'm going to show you the link to the new lawsuit package showing on my website. And got the new website up and running. I'm still doing some things and getting some things connected. I still have some words in the descriptions and stuff on a few of the packages to put together, but mostly everything is set up and linked to a checkout page and all of that. So you can go and click on it and go ahead and check out and get the package that you need. The foreclosure defense packages are complete, and so is the property tax lawsuit package and the new jurisdiction challenge with an affidavit. That is a complete package now. It has the new lawsuit in it for Administrative Procedures Act, and it is totally the bomb. So that package is also on there, and it's complete. It has all the information that you need to know about it. So I'm going to just let that scroll for a minute, and then I'm going to put the non-judicial package up. Let's see. I'm just going to show you guys a couple of things on the website, but I'm going to pass that up. I'm just going to let you guys go to the website and check it out. So the new, I'm working on the new Eliminator Property Tax Lawsuit online course. It's going to be Eliminate Property Tax / Foreclosure Defense online course. So it's going to incorporate the complete online course for foreclosure defense. And then I'm going to add the front half of it is going to be the Eliminate Property Tax part of it. And I'm going to add that, of course, for that, and then just put them together as one course. Because when you're doing the property tax, if you get involved in this, if you come to my website looking for this online course, or you need this, if you're facing a tax lien foreclosure already, and you're in the middle of that, then you would need the foreclosure documents to be able to shut that down, because it would take too long to shut it down with the Eliminate Property Tax stuff, because you're working on the front half like way over there. So I want to put this online course together and put the two things together. So if you're facing a property tax foreclosure, you would have what you need to stop the foreclosure, and you would also have what you need to get your property deed out of their office, so they're not jamming you up anymore. So we want to make sure that the whole goal is to get to regain control of your property deed, because the property deed being in the office is what initiates the property tax, the zoning, coding, and all of that bullshit that people have to put up with. And here's the thing, and I've done my homework on this, and I made a lot of attorneys sit down and get out of my face on Facebook. And here's the thing, there is no statute that mandates that you have to put your deed in their office. So you're consenting to paying property freaking taxes, basically what this is. Yeah, I had one lady get mad and start screaming at me. I'm like, ma'am, I'm keeping it real, okay? Unless you can show me a law that says everybody has to put their, and believe me, I did more work on this Eliminate Property Tax issue than I did on the other stuff, and mainly because it was so freaking easy. There's no law that mandates you have to put your stuff in their office. So if there's no law, you should be able to formally request to have your shit returned to you with a notice of claim letter. That's in the Eliminate Property Tax lawsuit package. And most people, that's all they need to do. Most people, that's all they need to do, because they have no legal defense, since there's no law that says you have to put. Oh, so here's the other thing too. There's another thing. The main thing that they're doing, the thing that they're doing is they're violating the real estate deed laws in your state. Each state has real estate deed transfer laws, and those laws mandate that the deed be delivered to the new property owner after the dust settles. But that's not what happens. These people convince everyone that part of this process is you have to register it in their office, so that nobody can get on your property deed and do anything and all of that. And that is the biggest lie ever. I have people in my Facebook page that have everything that they need to verify that their property has been totally paid off, but they're in foreclosure. They're in foreclosure because fools go into the county recorder's office They have access to all of your property information, and they fill out a fake assignment, and then they go back to their office and they file that shit in court, and they take over your property. And they know that 85, probably 98% of Americans cannot afford to hire an attorney. And if you do hire an attorney, all the attorney is going to do is get a cut of what they steal from you and help throw you under the bus. And that's the fact, Jack. And that's the real fact. Anybody that think that that's not a fact, and let me. So the thing here is they have no legal grounds to deny your request, and they sure as hell don't want everybody else to know that you understand that they took your property, they illegally real estate defrauded your property in their freaking control, and then they reclassified your property because it says in 2 places in the Constitution that private property can't be taxed. So they reclassify your property as commercial, residential, or agricultural, and then they start taxing you. And yeah, so the Eliminate Property Tax Lawsuit Package is really more about getting control of the deed to your property. But if I marketed the package that way, most people would say, "Oh well, I don't need your package because I have control of my deed. It's over in their office." Yeah. So this package that I'm putting together that's going to jam them up for the property tax and the foreclosure issue is going to block them from switching in the middle of the stream. And if you're already in a foreclosure tax situation, you'll have the documents that you need to attack the foreclosure and jam them up. So it's going to be really cool. You'll have everything you need to control your property deed and fight the tax lien foreclosure. Now, the last thing that I wanted to talk about, and we talked about this a little bit yesterday, is how to figure out what packages that you need. And I'm going to screen share again and show you guys the product page of my website, so you can see what the documents look like that you guys need to be looking at for your situation. And we'll do a share. Okay. Oh, snap. Isn't that a pretty website? Okay. So, yeah, here we go. So this one is the new package, the Eliminator package. I didn't put the name in there because they don't give you a whole bunch of space. I need to figure out a way to get in there somewhere. But anyway, so that's the Eliminator package, the newest one. The credit card lawsuit defense package. Upgrade that one and put a few more things in it. The Eliminate property tax package here. And eviction court counterclaim. I'm probably going to take that out because in the foreclosure defense lawsuit packages, you have what you need to handle that. I don't know. I'm still thinking about it. And the package is only $400, so you'd be better off buying the whole $400 package and coming with the extra $100 to have everything you need for the foreclosure, the jurisdictional challenge, their motion for reconsideration, jamming up the judge and suing the judge. All that's in the $400 package. So I think I'm going to just remove that one because I'd rather have people spend the money on what's going to help them best. I'm not really. I mean, I like to eat, but I'm not here to make money off of people stupidly. If you get shit from me, it's going to kick ass, and that's what I wanted to do. Now, this is the free stuff file. I put free stuff in here. Right now, I think I have a thing in there about eviction. It's been a while since I looked in it. I put free stuff in there. There's things in here that people have donated to me to help other people. So not everything in here is mine. And you can tell the difference because mine's the one that has a few grammar errors. Okay, we're working on that, but I'm just keeping it real. You guys know that I put the shit together anyway. So, and this is a judicial foreclosure defense lawsuit package. If you're facing a judicial foreclosure, this is the jurisdiction challenge with an affidavit. This is the new package that I put together. So this is the challenge jurisdiction, and then it has a lawsuit against the judge, and so we learn how to kind of cut too, so we don't have to have a big old notebook binder of a whole bunch of crap that I've been filing for a year and a half. Okay, and then I got tired of doing that. We're gonna figure out a way to to punch them a little harder. Okay, I ain't trying to I am not trying to knock them out, because I like to see them suffer. I like to see them suffer. That's how I roll. I like to see him suffer. Yeah, thanks, Noah. Yeah, it has the motion to moot. So Grandma says he thinks the Moors will use my information. Well, they're welcome to. Everybody's welcome to use it. And that's why I put it on here. And here is the non-judicial foreclosure lawsuit package. So there's $1 difference between the two. So I hope nobody calls me and asks me to take the dollar. Okay, sorry. I got carried away with that one. So the medical dispute letter, I actually turned this into a lawsuit. So I had the lawsuit with it, and then people only needed the letter, and not very many people needed the lawsuit. So I just put the whole thing together. So you get the lawsuit and everything. So if they're jamming you up on this, you just use the lawsuit to make them pay for your legal expenses and get your money back. And the marriage dissolution without a spouse's signature is pretty badass. I put this together for a very, very good friend of mine, and he used it. And I think I've sold a few of these. I haven't been able to market my stuff as well as I'm learning how to do now with this fancy new website. So there's going to be some people being able to seeing these new opportunities. Yeah, I'm probably going to take this out too, because the new document that I put against the judge is badass, and we don't need that. State citizenship. This is important, but I wouldn't focus on this to stop what's going on now. Unless it just started and you have all the, if you're able to get your passport filled out and everything, get it back, then you could. But, I have people focusing on this, and this is to help jam them up. But it's not going to stop everything. You're going to be better off. And you got to understand, too, that in my program, you're not filing this stuff for the judge to rule on it. People file the jurisdictional challenge and go sit down. I'm like, are you kidding me right now? The instructions say to use jurisdictional challenge to slow them down while you're getting your lawsuit filed in federal court. You file the title dispute in federal court, and it trumps everything in state court. So you can't just go sit down. Well, now we got the one Administrative Procedures Act that you can file against the judge right out the gate in state court. So we're changing some things, but if you're going by the normal program that we put together, then you don't want to just file your shit and wait for the court to judge to rule on it. You want to file that shit, and then you want to get your title dispute filed in federal court, and then you use the removal motion, to remove everything from the state court over to federal court, because it's a higher court, and the title dispute trumps everything. So yeah, but this is great to have, and it's also good to have if you're one of the people that the police like to screw with. Okay, if you're one of those people, then and they're not all black, they're Mexican, they're white. Maybe you're white with long hair or something. I don't know. So I know it ain't just black people that's getting jammed up, because I had to make a trip over there, and I seen a lot of people get locked up that wasn't black. So Anyway, this is great to have down the road. Oh, and last but not least, the online course. Now, they had to put this together special because the online course is hosted on teachable.com. And so we have to send you over there instead of sending you to checkout page and all that. So what they did was they put this together, and when you click on it, it takes you over to the online course. Is that pretty or what? Yeah, this is the bomb. I'm real proud of this. So this is the first comprehensive foreclosure defense online course to teach you how to file your wrongful foreclosure lawsuit against an attorney attacking your property. So most courses that are connected to foreclosure are courses where attorneys put together to help you steal property, foreclosure properties, or help investors, that kind of thing. So you guys can go to the page and click on that and go over to, and these people, Sue and Jay Boyer, they were among the first people to invest in my lawsuit package 2 years ago, a little over 2 years ago, and they're out of Texas, and they're still in their house. By the grace of God, they're still in their house. And yes, they're pretty happy. And I had a lot of fun with the people from Texas. At one point in our private Facebook page, we had 4 people who all had the same attorney. And they was all sticking my shit in his face. Yeah, I was having a really good day. I was like, dude, I should be paying you guys to have this much fun. Oh yeah, and that's me. So you guys can go and check out the course. If you want to enroll, you just click on the button and it takes you over here to this fancy window that it took me a really long time to figure out how to put together. Oh. And then it talks a little bit about what you're going to learn in the course. And then it gives you a couple of links to find more about me. And this is what the course looks like. So it starts out with the course curriculum and a welcome video about the instructor, what to expect in the course. So this is I'm serious. It took me I did all this over the shutdown. When they had a shutdown, I was like, I need to figure out some other way because there's going to be a lot of property investors have rentals that are jammed up now because people weren't able to pay the rent because they lost their job. And how you going to jam up somebody if they already lost their job? Right now, the focus is not on jamming their ass up. The focus is on protecting your property. So I put this together during that shutdown, and I had a lot of time to figure it out. And so you can see all of the different things here that we have. And this online course has upgraded documents in it that are totally the bomb, and everything else that you need. Everything that I have, I put, everything in the kitchen sink is up in this. Now, the only thing that I haven't added to it is a new lawsuit against the judge. And I'm not really going to worry about that because I got 50-something people in the course that have completed the course or are completing the course, and I don't hear shit out of nobody. So that's a good sign. That means that challenging these people is working a whole lot better than going in and being a damn defendant. And that's the thing. In my program, you're not going to be the defendant because I don't like getting punched. I like to be the one doing the punching and the stomping. Or whatever pin we got going on, we're going to be doing it. And my program is not for the weak at heart. So if you have fear about them coming after you or whatever, my program is not good for you. Okay? Because I don't deal with that well. And there's no place for it. You got to figure out, Is your fear, do you have more fear of fighting and them coming after you because you're going to kick their ass? Or do you have more fear of having to pack your shit and move? Now, I had one smart ass lady told me it's 50-50. I said, well, call me back when when you get more desperate, because 50-50 ain't enough to listen to being in my program. Okay. And to be honest, I actually hung up on her because she said it to me kind of in a smart ass way. So I hung up on her after I said that. And then I called her back and I told her I got carried away. Okay. Yeah, she was a little grumpy, but I told her she could file a complaint with my boss if she wanted to. And my boss's number is 913-240-0227. But don't call me right now because I'm a little busy. Okay, sorry. I got carried away. So you can see here that I put some time in that. And then there's me again. I keep popping up all over the place. It kept making me put my face in there. And this is Shamel. She is the girl in the woman in our group that's saving her dad's house. And this is Joyce. All these people are people that got into my program and left me wonderful reviews about a year ago or so, 2 years ago. I don't know, a while ago. So that's the online course, and let's jump back and check the notes, make sure I didn't forget anything. So when you guys, the first thing that you need to know is you need to figure out which package you need. And the way you figure that out is you need to understand if you're generally the most foreclosures are one of the three types listed that I'm going to discuss right now. The non-judicial foreclosure. Non-judicial foreclosure is when the foreclosure process is started when they mail you a notice of default letter or notice of cure letter or acceleration letter, some kind of letter saying that you owe them like $1 gazillion because they want everything paid right now, plus another $500 gazillion for the attorney fees and the steal your hope fees. And if you don't pay the $1.5 gazillion, see, I can add this gazillion shit up pretty good. If you don't pay the $1.5 gazillion in 30 days, then they're going to sell your house at the auction. So that's non-judicial. Judicial foreclosure is when they serve you a petition or a complaint and a summons to appear in court, and you have 21 days to answer, then they have time to respond, and then after all that, you got to go to court. So basically, in a nutshell, the judicial foreclosure, the judge has to order you off has to order that you lost the foreclosure, and then they have to have another set of hearings for kicking your ass off the property. And that's judicial. And non-judicial, the whole foreclosure process is done with just those letters and stuff. And in my opinion, I've done quite a bit of work because when I put this together, I had to figure out why the non-judicial wasn't working, because they were ignoring people and evicting them, ignoring the fact that they had the lawsuit filed. And so I had to go back and do a little more research. And in my opinion, the non-judicial foreclosure process, so the non-judicial foreclosure process, they use the notice of default letter, a clause in there in the deed of trust. They use a clause in the deed of trust to sell your house, saying that you knew about this clause where if you defaulted, they were just going to sell it and through a non-judicial process. Well, in my opinion, the non-judicial process was put on the books for these fools to have a way to process the foreclosure when people just pack up and leave, because most people just pack up and leave. So they put this, and this is, in my opinion, based off of my research. So they put this program together to foreclose on property when people just pack up and leave. It takes about a month or so or whatever, and they sell your house, and then they just go ahead and get rolling. And the whole thing's illegal. I don't know how they're getting away with it but I guess most of the time people have no idea. The whole thing is illegal. And I think that it was put together as a process to sell property, to process the property in foreclosure when people packed up and moved out. And then they figured out that they could just do it all the time because nobody knows shit. Until now. And then the tax lien foreclosure is the third. And we don't really need to spend a lot of time on that because people know what tax lien foreclosure is. You don't pay. They say that you didn't pay your taxes, even though it's illegal. That they're charging you them, and then they're going to go after your property. And a lot of times in tax lien foreclosure, well, most of the time in tax lien foreclosure, it's in judicial. It's a judicial foreclosure. Because even though they're saying tax lien on it, it's still a judicial foreclosure because it has to go through the court and the judge has to agree to it. Now, when I say personalize the documents, and one thing before I get to personalize the documents, people watch the videos and then, in the property tax video earlier, in 2 years ago when I first started making them, I told people to, I wanted to have an update on that so that I can see how they responded or whatever. Well, people think I need an update on everything. I don't need an update on everything. I don't need an update on anything unless you have questions about what's going on or whatever. And I'm not talking about the questions that you're supposed to be finding out on your own by watching the dang video. Okay. Not talking about those questions, but you know what I'm saying. So when you personalize a document, all that means is that you're supposed to replace the red font with your case information, the parties, the name, the court, all of those things. In a few cases, depending on the document, where I'm asking for just a little bit of information, but no. This does not mean that you add all a bunch of conventional stuff to the document, because all that does is open the door for arguing. So all of that stuff that people want to talk to me about that happened in 2009, anything about the banking system is not going to help you in foreclosure court. You need to focus on the shit they're doing wrong. So we don't want to add all of that stuff because it's not going to help you. It's going to open the door for arguing, and the attorney's program is structured for arguing. So when the arguing's done, the judge gets to help them take your shit. So that's pretty much how that goes. Only change the red font with your information. You don't need to worry about proving all of these things. These documents, they're not conventional foreclosure defense documents. These documents are designed to jam up the judge and put you in a position to attack the judge when the judge allows the attorneys to go through free and throw your shit out. If you change the documents and you do all of this stuff because you think you got to make everything the way the conventional program answered all of that, then you're just going to shoot yourself in both feet, because now they'll have opportunity to throw your shit to the curb. If you just go in with what's in the document, even if you don't understand it, you're going to put yourself in a position for the settlement. Yeah. Like I was saying, you're going to put yourself in a position to make the judge go sit the hell down. And that's what you're going to do. And you're going to make the judge go sit the hell down. And then when you get done filing all your stuff and recusing the judge and all that stuff, and then the judge is going to have to, the new judge is going to have to make a decision. Yeah. The new judge is going to have to make a decision. And when that happens, you will be in the driver's seat. Let's see if we can get the screen share turned off. Okay. So, what should you fill out first? In most cases, you'll be filling out the jurisdictional challenge with an affidavit, or if you invested in the other package, you'd be filling out um, the jurisdiction challenge with an affidavit, and you would be filing that in state court to mess up the state court process. And then this document, you would need to stop the state court altogether. I mean, this jurisdictional challenge with an affidavit, they can't answer with a counter affidavit, so there's no way they're going to be able to answer to it on the merits. So that's the beauty of that. And you can also use this document to stop the eviction court process. And remember, these are guidelines you use to gauge your situation by. So the first document you would be using is probably more than likely a jurisdictional challenge with an affidavit to stop everything. And then the other documents that you would be filing your lawsuit and all of that. And the jurisdictional challenge with an affidavit also has a motion to moot that you would file all in state court to stop the state court process. So don't call me and ask me what court that you need to file a jurisdictional challenge in. Because if you ask me that, I'm going to know you haven't done any homework. So, yeah, the jurisdictional challenge with an affidavit is to stop the state court process and to give you time to get your lawsuit filed in federal, your title dispute filed in federal court. And I refer to it as a title dispute because that lets them know that you know the shit. Okay, it's a title dispute. The title dispute trumps everything in the lower court. It trumps the eviction process. When you file it in federal court, it trumps the state court process. And yeah, so you're going to have to beat them over the head with that because they don't like getting trumped. So filing in court, that's going to be up to you. You're going to have to figure out how to file. You're going to have to figure out how to serve the parties. You're going to need to look up the process of service for your state and figure out what that is. If you don't perfect the process of service, your shit will sit there and nobody's going to respond, and they're going to keep the process going to try to throw you out. So perfecting the process of service is very important. And you can find out information on Google. Process of service for whatever stage you're in should pull up just what you need. People call and ask me questions all the time and I'm like, where do you think I would get the answer from? Or I got the answer from. And the idea of my service is to teach you how to do it, not do it for you. Yeah, and they're going to try all kinds of tricks to get out of being held responsible when you bring your fire to the table. So it's going to be up to you to find out how long they have to respond and what to do if they don't respond. And if you watch the video, you already know they're not going to be able to respond to the jurisdictional challenge with an affidavit or the jurisdiction challenge with an affidavit package. So you should already have a plan for that. And it's your job to keep up with your case and all of that. I'm not an attorney. And when you call me back 2 weeks later, I don't remember what the hell we talked about 2 weeks ago. And that's why it's good to take notes. And I hate to talk to people driving because people driving don't take notes. And I have to say the same thing over again. Then I was talking to a lady driving yesterday and she almost had an accident. Well, it's job security. She's going to need more documents. Okay, sorry. So I want you guys to remember, never, ever do these things that we're going to talk about right now. Never, ever connect what you were doing before you invested into my program to my documents. That is the number one, never, ever, because what you were doing was not helping you or you wouldn't need my help right now. And it doesn't make sense to me to connect what you were doing because you thought what the attorneys taught you was the right thing to do to that's not working for you to my program that's working. So, people tell me, oh, I have this appeal filed and I don't care. The appeal is not going to help you. especially in non-judicial foreclosure. If you're appealing the eviction court's ruling, you don't have nothing on the record, because the only thing that can stop the eviction court is a title dispute. And unless you got a title dispute filed in federal court, you got no appeal. You're wasting your time giving them more lead to take over your property and run your stuff. So don't connect my stuff to, and it's obvious when you learned that mine is non-conventional and theirs is conventional. If you connect it to, the conventional gets poopy smell all over my stuff. And then all they want to argue is the poopy smell and shit. So, okay, let me move on. I don't want to get carried away on the poopy smell because that could get stinky. Now, if what you was doing was not working, and that's why you need my help. So we don't want to make sure we're not adding those. And I'm going to keep saying this every time I have a live stream, because I have people call me and they're maxed out because they're doing all of this stuff and they think they need to connect it to what I'm doing. And I'm like, hello, that stuff is not helping you. Why would you want to, excuse me, why would you want to do anything out of it in the first place? And one of the things that I tell people in my program, you're no longer the defendant. Okay, you're no longer the defendant. So that defendant shit and the defendant thinking of defending yourself needs to go out the window, because we're not going to be defending ourselves. We're going to be kicking somebody in the face. That's how we do things. Your dead grandpa says, and there's no winning. So no offense to you, grandpa, but for me, there's no winning. Well, we actually did get a win when he got them to sit down and shut up. But for the most part, the judge is not going to help you. So you need to make them quit. You make them tap out. That's what they call it. Yeah. Tapping out. I want to go ahead and send you and again switch banners with you guys so that you can see. Oh, that's to Sam's cart. That's to the property tax package. Okay, this one is judicial. And this is the judicial package. So I wanted to make you guys have. So that's about all I have for you guys tonight. We're going to get started on that new course. One of the things that Grandpa, I never mention, as you know, is I never talk about the fraud, because when you talk about fraud, they structured the program that we're dealing with, and they do fraud all the time. So they're not stupid, they're dumb. They're dumb, but they're stupid. They're not dumb. Okay, anyway, so they set it up. It's almost impossible to prove fraud unless a whole bunch of people die. So the way they have it set up, there's like 7 elements that you have to prove, that you have to claim when you're claiming fraud, and you have to connect each one of those elements with all of the counts. It's just ridiculous. It's totally ridiculous. So I never used that word. So, and I don't need to, because you're going after them for violating the laws and stuff. So we don't even talk about the fraud or none of the stuff that they did. We don't talk about none of that stuff in my program, because it's not going to help you. It opens the door for arguing. They love to argue about the fraud. And basically all they're doing is doing the same shit we're doing to them. They're stalling your ass, hoping to get you kicked out the door. So thank you guys tonight. We kind of went over a little bit, but we brought a little more value to the table, and you guys have a little information about this criminal stuff. I think I need to spend a little time there, because obviously I've been there and know how to do that. So, And I will see you guys next week, maybe on Tuesday or something. On Tuesday, we're going to take some questions too about what you guys need to do to put into the state situation that you're facing. So I'll take questions as long as they're questions about what we're doing here. Okay, I don't want to talk about what your attorney said or none of that stuff. If you're or take questions about how you need to change over that stuff to this program or something like that. Okay, because I don't really talk about the stuff that attorneys like to talk about because that's not anything that we use, as you can see. Good night, everybody.